This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
One man plus God equals a majority.
It is our prayer that this would turn into a generational revival.
I'm going to church because that's exactly where Charlie would want us to be.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. It has been an inspiring 24 hours for the family of the late Christian activist Charlie Kirk. The Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, hosted Kirk's podcast today.
Such a good guy, such a good friend, such a lion and visionary of our movement was advocating for me, so I wanted to use this show today to advocate for Charlie.
He was honored by Arizona State Senator Jake Hoffman.
Charlie Kirk taught us that one man plus God equals a majority.
And Sunday, a packed prayer vigil right in the heart of Washington, D.C. at the Kennedy Center. It went a little like this. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. had to wait on the stage for almost 2 minutes before speaking because of the thunder of the crowd over Kirk's assassination.
Yesterday, my 17-year-old niece left for Europe to go to college. And while she was packing, her mother, Amaryllis, my daughter-in-law, noticed that she had put a Bible in her suitcase. Amaryllis was curious about it, and she asked her, and Zoe said to her, "I want to live like Charlie Kirk."
Kennedy says there's a phenomenon happening across the country right now. There have been more than 32,000 requests for new Turning Point USA chapters, that's the organization Charlie founded, on high school and college campuses since Friday.
There are millions and millions of kids around the country who he inspired who now want to live with Charlie Kirk. And that's a great thing for our country.
Even more importantly, churches were packed like it was Easter Sunday yesterday. People are getting baptized and asking for Bibles. They're calling it the Charlie Kirk effect. American political figure Carrie Lake.
I'm going to church because that's exactly where Charlie would want us to be, said one post. One post said, "My husband and I are going to try diving into this journey with our children for the first time ever." Another person said, "I bought my first Bible on Friday. First Bible I've ever owned, and I'm finally seeing the light of it."
Pastor Mark Driscoll says God is turning what was meant for evil for good.
It is our hope and it is our prayer that this would turn into a generational revival, that young people who listen to Charlie would worship his God and follow in studying the scriptures and getting married and having children and serving Christ.
Charlie Kirk's funeral will be Sunday in Arizona in a stadium that holds 75,000 people. CBS reporter Carter Evans has more on the case against Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old suspected gunman in the Kirk assassination.
In a series of television appearances Sunday, Utah Governor Spencer Cox, a Republican, said the suspect's friends and family claim he was radicalized to the left. State records show the alleged gunman was registered as unaffiliated and did not vote in 2022 or 2024.
If this was MAGA and a radicalized MAGA person, I would be saying that as well.
Cox also noted the suspect had a roommate who was a romantic partner and said the FBI confirmed the roommate is transitioning genders.
Robinson is expected to be arraigned on state murder charges tomorrow and is also expected to face federal charges. Tens of thousands of conservatives packed the streets in the United Kingdom over the weekend to take a stand against illegal immigration.
It was billed as a march in support of free speech. But in reality, many of the chants and the speeches were protesting against immigration. The British police said over 100,000 people took to the streets.
They need to stop illegal migration into this country. It's tearing us apart.
There is word of an agreement with China over TikTok. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has been holding talks with TikTok in Spain.
The two leaders, President Trump and Party Chair Xi, will speak on Friday to complete the deal, but we do have a framework for a deal with TikTok.
He hinted at U.S. ownership. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Israel, where he met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Hamas needs to cease to exist as an armed element that can threaten the peace and security of the region, and the people of Gaza deserve a better future, but that better future cannot begin until Hamas is eliminated.
Those recent U.S. strikes on suspected drug-running ships are just the beginning, warns Homeland Security Chief Kristi Noem, who told Fox News today.
Those evil foreign governments that have sought to take us down for decades and decades, such as China, they infiltrated our country too. We aren't just taking down the one bad actor in a community. We're going after their entire network worldwide, and we're going to destroy them.
Noem says she's encouraged by federal law enforcement recruiting trends, including 100,000 applications to join the ranks of ICE. The prolific songwriter Bobby Hart has died. The Last Train to Clarksville was one of the many hits for the Monkees that he penned. Bobby Hart was 86. And as the weather cools, it looks like prices at the gas pump will be doing likewise.
A gentle slope downward in price, considering summer driving is over with.
Analyst Trilby Lundberg on Fox. Some other analysts have predicted we could see gas prices dip below $3 a gallon this fall. AAA says gas in New York is $3.25 a gallon. It is $3.33 a gallon in Pennsylvania. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, a closer look at Kathy Hochul's endorsement of Zohran Mamdani. There could be a major win for religious freedom in the Pennsylvania sports soon, and the International Space Station could be above your head tonight. Those stories after weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. This rather resilient weather pattern is going to hold for several more days. The call for tonight, mainly clear, with a few areas of fog again late at night. Low temperatures upper 40s and 50s. Tomorrow and Wednesday, for most of us, ample sunshine. There'll be an increase in cloud cover, though, across eastern Pennsylvania. High temperatures both days in the 70s to near 80.
Thank you, Kevin. Checking the stories, making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. There's been a major development in the race for New York City mayor. Governor Kathy Hochul officially endorsed Zohran Mamdani, an avowed socialist. Political analyst Hank Scheinkoff thinks the move could cost Hochul her own job.
This is a very politically risky maneuver. For someone who's running for re-election next year and needs to win New York City suburbs.
Mamdani has publicly said he supports defunding police. Hochul says she shared with him her priorities, making sure our police officers have what they need to keep the city safe. Mamdani says he's grateful and the governor is, quote, unifying the party.
Let's see if she goes in the street and campaigns with Mamdani, and let's see what voters, particularly the ethnic groups that he's had the most problems with, particularly voters over 45, who are more likely to turn out, what they think about it in weeks to come.
In the Keystone State, the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association may be agreeing to a settlement over whether or not the group discriminates against parochial schools, faith-based schools across Pennsylvania. The Religious Rights Foundation of PA says a proposed interim consent order has been requested after the PIAA was sued for not allowing faith-based schools to take part in public school district athletics. The case would not go to court if the PIAA settles. We'll keep you posted. Believe it or not, it is a pretty rare occurrence, but there is a chance if you're looking up at the sky last night, you saw the International Space Station fly over your head in Pennsylvania. The National Weather Service put out an alert that the station was visible around 8:08 p.m. and looked like a star racing across the sky from west to northeast. If you missed it, no big deal. It'll also be visible tonight at 8:58 p.m. this evening. You may see a shift in location when a prominent speaker visits a campus or a high school in New York or Pennsylvania because of Charlie Kirk's assassination.
I've said it for a long time that outdoor events are very difficult to secure and police. Anywhere from a rural site to an urban site to now a college campus, it's very difficult to secure the entire area.
Former Buffalo Police Captain Jeff Rinaldo spoke with WBEN.
So I think you will see where more and more of these events are going to have to move indoors, where security has the ability to properly screen all of the people entering the facility, as well as do a security sweep prior to the event to ensure that nobody's inside the building and no weapons have been brought in.
Both Kathy Hochul and Josh Shapiro condemned negative speech over the Charlie Kirk shooting. Next at 5, a deeper dialogue. Who fills the shoes of Charlie Kirk? Our own Bob Price sits down with Dr. Ralph Kerr of the Teaching and Learning Institute. It's Issues in Education. Let's listen in.
College kids, Ralph, were his bailiwick. So much genius and talent, but it's gone now. Cancel culture has killed this man. My question to you is, what's going to happen to these sorts of open debates and thoughtful discussion on controversial issues that nobody did quite like Charlie Kirk did? What's going to happen to these sorts of things at college now that this has happened to this country?
Well, unfortunately, I think that some of this kind of dialogue will be discontinued because college and university administrators are going to be afraid that some kind of discussion might lead to this kind of a result on their campus, which obviously they don't want. Having said that, though, I believe that there is a place for honest dialogue, and it should be an important part of our democracy. And I hope that for that reason alone, colleges and universities will see this as an opportunity to continue that honest dialogue with people that may or may not agree with us.
Yeah. My dad always used to say, ask questions, don't make statements. And I think that was the genius of Charlie Kirk, is if you watched how he engaged these students who were of a vastly different persuasion than he was. He disarmed them in such a genius and talented way by asking questions. He constantly asked questions. And I think there's something to be said about listening. And Charlie Kirk did that better than anybody I can think of. Any thoughts there, Ralph?
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I've watched over the last few days several clips of the dialogue that he had with different people, and somebody asked him at one point, how do you know all this stuff that you talk about?
Yeah.
As everybody knows, he chose not to go to college. He decided at a very young age what he was going to do and did it, but he said that a lot of it had to do with his ability to read and gather facts in that way. And I think that, too, sets up a real example for us, is that we need to have the facts when we're entering into a dialogue, but then ask questions, try to bring out the points of view of the other people and be responsive to those in a Christ-like manner. That's all part of an honest dialogue. What are we doing in the venues that God has provided us with to be his servant and to play out the role that he's called us to do?
Amen.
You can subscribe, listen to, and share Issues in Education and all of Family Life's original podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
As a whole, Americans aren't saving much, and that's a growing problem. Hi, I'm Rob West with today's Faith and Finance Minute. According to the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, Americans save only about 5% of their after-tax income. On a $60,000 annual income, that's just $3,000 a year. At first, that might sound like a decent amount, but when you consider all the things we really should be saving for, home maintenance, car repairs, insurance deductibles, unexpected expenses, and even retirement, it starts to look pretty grim. The truth is, failing to save today often leads to financial stress tomorrow. So I want to encourage you, save as much as you realistically can. It may require cutting back, but you'll be grateful that you planned ahead. We can help you learn to manage your money according to biblical principles when you download the free FaithFi app. You'll find it on our website at faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, how old is too old to be a kicker for the Buffalo Bills? Old enough to watch the kids you coach see you play on live TV.
I got to see my coach go on TV.
An incredible story of perseverance and hope after one last peek at weather with Kevin Williams.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. This rather resilient weather pattern is going to hold for several more days. The call for tonight, mainly clear, with a few areas of fog again late at night. Low temperatures upper 40s to 50s. Tomorrow and Wednesday, for most of us, ample sunshine. There'll be an increase in cloud cover, though, across eastern Pennsylvania. High temperatures both days in the 70s to near 80.
Thank you, Kevin. Finally, at 5, you may have seen the kick heard around the U.S. by Buffalo Bills kicker Matt Prater.
From 32 yards, Prater!
Prater's last-second field goal clinching it for Buffalo. He signed with the Bills a week ago Thursday at 41 years old and kicked the game winner 4 days later. What you may not have known, though, is that his day job is as an assistant coach in Arizona in the Santan Youth Football League.
My son plays quarterback, and that's actually what I was doing when I got the phone call, was writing practice out for the kids.
He was on the phone with the head coach when the call came in to play for the Buffalo Bills.
He's like, hey, I have to let you go, Tanner. He's like, the Bills are calling me.
He booked it to Buffalo for the first game to shift from coaching to playing.
I can't imagine how awesome it is to be coached by an NFL player that you see on a TV now.
He's nice to me. He helps me with my footwork and fundamentals. It was a really cool experience because I got to see my coach go on TV.
Proof that you are never too old to go for your dreams. And that's the world that we live in for Monday, the 15th of September. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.